Please subscribe this channel and click the bell icon. 50 ought to be aware of fitness guidelines to attain your pleasant body. Stick to it for 2 weeks if motivation is your cling-up. Alternate your recreation pursuits every 14 days. A tuition of Florida be taught found out that people who modified their workouts twice a month had been extra likely than to stick to their plans when put next to people who converted their regimens at any time when they desired to. Boredom didn't appear to be an aspect. It seems men and women without problems love the kind extra. Clean string oil. Bring up your rear for a powerful bottom so that it will turn heads wherever you go. Marta Montenegro, a Miami-centered undertaking physiologist and force and conditioning trained, recommends finishing 100 kettlebell swings non-stop with an average weight at the end of a legs workout. Tweet this tip. If you can't entry a kettlebell, do deadlifts and hip thrusters instead. Ladies are likely to overemphasize the quadriceps even after they believe they're working the butt. With these 2 workout routines, you'll have in any situation attractive the glutes and posterior muscle groups of the legs, Montenegro says. Cleanstring old by no means past the principal meal for after. We're no longer talking about breakfast but rather the recuperation meal after your exercise. So many females bypass put-up activity nutrition considering that they don't need to undo the energy they only burn, says Amanda Carlson-Phillips, Vice Chairman of Nutrition and Research for Athletes Performance and Core Performance. But getting a mixture of 10 to 15 grams of protein and 20 to 30 grams of carbohydrates inside half hour of your workout will aid to refuel your body, promote muscle recuperation, amp up your energy, and construct a leaner physique. Cleanstring old mind your muscle. It's convenient to get misplaced in a killer playlist or friends rerun on the TV hooked up to the elliptical, but mindless pastime makes all your rough work forgettable, and which you can put out of your mind about seeing outcome too. There is a huge change between going by means of the motions of an pastime and real thinking, feeling, and fascinating the key muscles, says Kira Stokes, master teacher at the NY City area of indoor cycling studio Revolve. Be aware of and benefit from the sensation of your muscle tissue contracting and the sentiments of developing improved and extra robust with each and every rep. Cleanstring old. Be less precise. Identical to trying to find a guy who meets designated specified standards. Making an attempt to arrive in distinctive weight is a lofty, and ordinarily unattainable, intention. Having a variety, akin to dropping 5 to 10 kilos, may just result in an extra effective final result than should you aim to lose precisely 8 pounds in 4 weeks, in keeping with a gain knowledge of released in the Journal of Consumer Study. Bendy targets look more feasible, which in flip boosts your experience of feat, encouraging you to remain driven, the be-taught authors say. Cleanstring old. Step it up. Intuition may just inform you to slow down when walking in wintry stipulations. However, the secret to no longer slipping is simply to velocity up and shorten your stride. Aim to have each and every foot strike the bottom 90 instances per minute, says Terry Chiplin, owner of Active at Altitude, a Colorado-headquartered facility for patience athletes. This high cadence helps be certain that each foot lands underneath the middle of your weight as a substitute than ahead of it, which will throw off your balance on slick terrain. Cleanstring old. Dangle tight. Not being equipped to do a pull-up doesn't imply you shouldn't step as much as the bar. Readily placing on for so long as feasible can improve your upper physique force, Montenegro says. Pay attention to retaining your physique as still as viable, and you'll naturally recruit your abs, hips, and diminish again furthermore to your arms, she explains, or slowly transfer your legs in circles or up and right down to further engage your abs. Cleanstring old. Now not so speedy. Before you begin a juice cleanse weight reduction plan, be aware of that tremendously restricting your caloric intake to drop kilos may just backfire. In a 2010 learn, women placed on a 1,200 calorie weight loss plan for 3 weeks had improved stages of cortisol, our important stress hormone. Tweet this fact. Chronic stress has been related to an multiplied risk of weight gain as good as coronary heart disorder, hypertension, diabetes, cancer, and impaired immune functioning. Cleanstring old. Bust out your bikini. Packing your 2-piece away for iciness way you is not going to believe about how you can seem in it until about April. Avoid any capabilities. How did my butt get this gigantic? Panics come spring by means of maintaining your swimsuit helpful and hanging it on every so probably to be certain you adore what you see, says Tanya Becker, co-founding father of the Physique 57 bar program. Which you could also toss it on when you are tempted to overindulge, she adds. There's no higher way to keep yourself from having that after dinner cookie or slice of cake. Cleanstring old. Pep up your run. Candy chili peppers is probably not a iciness meals, but proceed consuming them on your burritos, stir fries, and soups, and you may burn more fat throughout your outdoor bloodless weather runs. These now not sizzling veggies include chemical substances referred to as capsaicinoids that are similar to the capsaicin discovered in sizzling peppers. Mix capsaicinoids with 63-degree or cooler temps, and you increase the amount and endeavor of brown fat cells, those that burn vigor, and provides your metabolism a further improved, in keeping with a learn released within the Journal of Clinical Investigation. Clenstring Alt by no means do the same exercise. The purpose most folks do not see alterations isn't in view that they do not work hard, it is seeing that they don't make their workouts harder, says Adam Bornstein, founder of Born Health. His advice: create a mission at any time when you exercise. Use a bit extra weight, leisure 5 to 10 seconds much less between sets, add a number of more reps, or do an additional set. Incorporating these small additions into your events is a recipe for alternate, he says. Clenstring Alt freshen your breath and your muscular tissues. Don't forget together with peppermint to your pre-workout snack or drink. In a small gain knowledge of released within the Journal of the Global Society of Physical Activities Nutrition, men drank 2 cups water with 0.05 milliliters, essentially, a drop, peppermint oil jumbled in, after which ran on a treadmill to test their stamina and vigor. The mint perceived to help loosen up muscle mass, enhance oxygen to muscles and the mind, and raise soreness threshold, leading to multiplied total performance. Clenstring Alt go 2 for 1 while you do excessive depth interval training, and when you're now not, you must be, follow a 2-to-1 work to relaxation ratio, similar to sprinting 1 minute followed by a 30 seconds of recovery. Tweet this secret. According to a few studies, probably the most latest out of bowling inexperienced state tuition, this method maximizes your workout results. The BGSU researchers also say to trust your body. Contributors in the Learn set their percent for both jogging and healing in line with how they felt, and via doing so females worked at a greater percentage of their maximum heart expense and highest oxygen consumption than the men did. Clenstring Alt be authentic. To type it isn't important how many push-ups you are able to do in a minute if you are now not doing a single one safely. There is not any factor in performing any pastime without right form, says Stokes, who recommends considering in terms of development. Superb your technique, then later add weight and/or pace. That is primarily fundamental if your exercise requires performing as many reps as possible for the duration of a sweet amount of time. Pick great over range, and that you would be able to stay damage-free. Clenstring Alt at some point at a time. Lengthy term objectives are important, however they can make you consider overwhelmed or discouraged every now and then. Instead of thinking about what number of costume sizes smaller you want to be in 4 months, focus on small everyday victories, suggests Michael Snyder, bodywear expert and nutritionist on the Body Holiday, a wellness and health motel in St. Lucia. For instance, at present you'll devour breakfast, fit in a workout, and drink more water, he says. Keep all in favor of the reward, and your future shall be positive. Clenstring Alt find a FitPal exercise companion not only maintains you accountable, she additionally could aid you clock more time on the gymnasium and torch extra fat. A British survey of 1,000 women discovered that folks that pass time with others are inclined to instruct 6 minutes longer and burn an extra 41 calories per session in comparison with solo health fans. Tweet this fact. Women with Bikram acquaintances and CrossFit comrades mentioned they push themselves harder and are more encouraged than after they hit the fitness center. On my own. Clenstring Alt dig deeper. It takes a number of self-discipline to show down a cupcake or roll out of your heat mattress for a bloodless morning run. To make staying on track less difficult, it can be most important to make an actual connection with your motivation, says Tara Giddis, RD, co-host of Emotional Mojo. So believe less about fitting into your skinny denims or spring-ruined bikini and more about emotional ties to the humans you like. Your relationships will grow stronger if you find yourself bodily healthful and taking care of yourself, she says. Clenstring Alt study the ropes. The best coaching device you are no longer using, a leap rope. It will seem just a little juvenile unless you consider of all of the sizzling-bodied boxing professionals who leap rope every day, says Landon LaRue, a CrossFit Stage 1 trainer at Reebok CrossFit Lab in LA. Now not most effective, is it inexpensive, movable, and convenient to use just about anywhere. You'll burn about 200 energy in 20 minutes and boost your cardiovascular health while toning, he adds. Clenstring Alt heed your hunger. Provide your physique a bit of extra credit. It tells you when you're hungry. You is probably not listening, although. Before chowing down on account that there's only one slice of pie left or considering the last visitor arrived at the brunch, stop and assess in together with your belly. In case you're no longer hungry, make yourself a small plate and sip on some tea or coffee even as all people else digs in, recommends El Penna, MPH, RD, a MyFitnessPal informed. When your belly begins to finally grumble, food will be there. Clenstring Alt take it external. Be trained by the countrywide institutes of health that discovered humans would burn as much as 7% more calories within the bloodless. So if you're torching 268 calories for the period of a half-hour indoor run at a 12-minute mile percent, you can also hoof off closer to 300 calories in the event you head outdoor. Clenstring Alt ace your serving sizes when meeting out dinner. Put away the measuring cups and grasp a standard measurement plate. If your meals matches without a man or woman item touching an additional, that you may be pretty positive that your portion sizes are correct, says Snyder. Clenstring Alt memorize a mantra. Something you inform yourself to get by way of a grueling exercise. Do not discontinue. An innovative European trained observed that motivational self-speak can enormously aid reduce the cost of perceived exertion. How loud your muscle mass is screaming, so that you would be able to go extra for longer. Clenstring Alt Multi-Goal Preferred Belief says if you happen to rather want to make a huge change, center of attention on one new healthful dependency at a time. However, Stanford School University of Treatment researchers say working in your food plan and fitness concurrently may just put the odds of attaining each ambitions extra on your want. They followed 4 groups of humans. The primary zoned in on their diets before including recreation months later, the second did the reverse, the 1/3 considering each directly, and the last made no alterations. Folks that doubled up had been surely to determine 150 minutes a week and stand up to 9 servings of fruits and veggies day to day while retaining their energy from saturated fat at 10% or much less of their total intake. Clenstring Alt Sweat to a beat of your own rocking out to your fave playlist helps you energy through a grueling workout, and now study suggests singing, buzzing, or whistling may be just as valuable. Tweet this tip. A German and Belgian gain knowledge have found that making song, and now not simply being attentive to it, could affect undertaking efficiency. Men and women who worked out on machines designed to create music situated on their efforts exerted extra energy, and failed to even are aware of it, in comparison with others who used normal gear. Sweating to your possessed tune may just aid make sports less onerous, researchers say. Clenstring Alt Coronary Heart your coach, define and trainer who motivates you to get out the door or turn on a video, they'll be your great recommend. Becca says. For those who appear ahead to seeing your favorite Pilates trainer, you'll be able to be more likely to hit the studio frequently. Same goes if you love a coach's energy in their DVD or online videos. Clenstring Alt Search out textual content help in the event you suggestion texting changed your love existence, suppose what it might do to your waistline. When humans receive motivational textual content messages selling recreation and healthful behaviors twice per week, i.e., keep in the fridge a Ziploc with washed and pre-cut veggies for rapid snack. Add 1 string cheese 4 proteins, they lost an typical of about 3% of their body weight in 12 weeks. Participants in the Virginia Commonwealth Institution trained also showed an improvement in consuming behaviors, recreation, and vitamin self-efficacy, and suggested that the texts help them undertake these new habits. Find well-being-minded friends and message each and every different reminders, or program your mobile to ship yourself healthy consuming suggestions. Clenstring Alt put on more weight. You realize strength training is the great option to trim down, tone up, and get into I really like my body shape. However, constantly attaining for the 10-pound dumbbells isn't going to support you. Add 2 or 3 compound barbell lifts, equivalent to a squat, deadlift, or press, to your weekly coaching timetable and run a linear development, growing the burden used on every lift by means of 2 to 5 pounds a week, says Noah Abbott, a teacher at CrossFit South Brooklyn. Perform 3 to 5 sets of 3 to 5 reps, and you'll boost force, not bulk. The quick, severe training will not position your muscle mass under lengthy intervals of muscle fiber stimulation, which corresponds with muscle progress, Abbott explains. Clenstring Alt be right here. Now. Before you convince yourself that you're too busy to mediate, keep in mind this: adding mediation to your daily health events is usually a part of physique transformation, says Mark Fisher, founding father of Mark Fisher Fitness in NYC. In finding 5 to 10 minutes a couple of times a day to center of attention on your breath, he suggests. Taking the time to do this can support your physique and mind distressed and recover better from your entire hard work at the gym and the place of work. Clenstring Alt work it from each angle. Most ordinary health plans occur in predictable patterns that probably involve moving in 2 planes of movement, up and down or ahead and backward, ignoring the 0.33 plane of motion, lateral. Transfer your body in all recommendations to create probably the most fit, realistic, and athletic physique, Stokes says. If you're a runner, bicycle owner, or walker, don't forget to comprise movements equivalent to jumping jacks, side shuffles, heart lunges, and karaoke, the grapevine-like move, for your warm-up or cool down, she suggests. Clenstring Alt muscle over mind. In case you most often head to the gym after work, take heed, mental exhaustion could make you feel bodily exhausted, even in case you have plenty of energy. Studies are treatment and science in exercises and activity study. When persons played a brain-draining PC sport before exercising, they stated a subsequent workout as being more difficult, yet their muscle tissues showed the equal recreation as they did doing the same workout after an handy mental game. So in case you believe which you can't eke out those last 10 minutes on the rowing computing device, consider, you could. Tweet this motivation. Clenstring Alt roll with it, also known as myofascial unlock. Foam rolling is a convenient technique to advantage your complete body. At the same time, stretching addresses the length of muscle fiber. Rolling improves the first rate of the tissue, says Rob Suleva, CEO and founder of Bandana Coaching. This results in tension and suffering-free muscular tissues, which function better so that you perform higher. Be sure to roll for 5 minutes before your workout. Not definite what to do? Try these 10 methods to use a foam curler. Cleanstring Alt. Be picky about dinner dates. You understand it's less complicated to fall off the healthful eating wagon when the individual across the desk from you goes whole hog on mozzarella sticks. However, science still felt they have got to study this. And evidence presented on the 2013 Agricultural and Utilized Monetary Association's annual meeting backs you up. In the gain knowledge of men and women made an identical dining selections as their companions did, very likely considering that we with ease want to slot in. No longer all eating companions make a nasty impact, although the file additional speculates that if you are eating with a health-mindful person, you'll be more likely to order something extra nutritious as good. Cleanstring Alt. Don't forget retail remedy. Every time I purchase a new pair of athletic sneakers, an enthusiasm comes over me. I'm keen to put on them, says famous person trainer and New Balance health ambassador Holly Perkins. Follow her lead and every so often buy new kicks or gymnasium garments if it helps revitalize your ardor for the fitness center. Cleanstring Alt. Take 5 to imagine. Snapshot your superb self together with your flat abs, firmer butt, and slim thighs every day. Seeing relatively is believing. You turn out to be consciously and acutely aware of the whole lot that can support you attain the visualized outcome that you simply wish when you impress an concept into the subconscious part of you, says famous person yoga trained Gwen Lawrence. It finally turns into constant, and also you routinely move towards that which you desire. Cleanstring Alt. Soften fat on the mat. Vinyasa and vigor is probably not the one varieties of yoga with the intention to get you toward that lengthy, lean, limber seam. Study provided on the 73rd scientific sessions of the American Diabetes Organization observed that restorative yoga, which focuses extra on relaxing and stress-lowering actions as a substitute than a challenging drift or balancing poses, burns more subcutaneous fat, the form directly under your dermis, than stretching does. With the aid of the end of the year-long, be taught, yogis who practiced as a minimum once a month lost a natural of about 3 pounds, practically double the amount misplaced by those who most effective stretched. So in case you don't suppose up for an extra athletic yoga category, ease your method into a convention with a smooth one. Cleanstring Alt. Put your money where your muscle is. Although creating economic incentives to drop pounds isn't a brand new inspiration, now we know cashing in to stay influence works long term. In the longest study yet on this topic, Mayo Medical Institution researchers weighed 100 individuals monthly for 12 months, offering one half the group $20 per pound lost plus a $20 penalty for every pound received. Those within the fiscal workforce dropped an typical of 9 pounds with the aid of the tip of the 12 months, whilst non-paid individuals shed about 2 pounds. When you're in a position to gamble away weight, do not forget sites comparable to Healthy Wage, Fatbet, or Stick. Cleanstring Alt. Conclude robust when you're in the home stretch of your workout. Kick it up a notch. On the end of each longer or easy run or bike journey, decide upon up your percent for the last minute as you can do when you are finishing a race. Chiplin says. This provides minimal stress physiologically while creating an attitude of ending every run fast and strong. Cleanstring Alt. Cut down with produce. Adopting a plant-founded food plan could support tip the scales for your favor. A 5-year study of 71,751 adults published in the Journal of the Academy of Diet and Dietetics discovered that vegetarians tend to be slimmer than meat eaters even though each agencies eat in regards to the same number of calories every day. Researchers say it may be seen that carnivores eat more fatty acids and fewer weight loss-selling nutrients, like fiber, than herbivores do. Go green to find out if it really works for you. Cleanstring Alt. Compress forward when layering for an outdoor activity this wintry weather. Keep in mind a compression fabric in your base layers. These fabrics are awesome at wicking moisture from the body, which allows for you to sweat and breath at the same time keeping you warm, says Chiplin, who notes they can also cut back fatigue and muscle ache so you're equipped to go out once more the next day to come. Remember throwing them within the dryer for a minute before dressing to extra push back the morning chill. Cleanstring Alt. Be genuine to yourself when trying to undertake new healthy habits. It can be primary to work around different long-standing practices that would sabotage your efforts if overlooked. For example, in case you are a morning man or woman, understanding in the AM is probably going first rate. However, when you're a night person, undertaking after work, says Tara Stiles, owner of Strala Yoga in New York City. Tweet at Tara. Do not attempt to turn out to be one or the other if it is no longer natural to you. You are extra prone to follow it if you happen to like the time of day and the whole experience. Cleanstring Alt. Share the well-being. Even supposing you're the most unbiased exerciser around, provide a gaggle fitness type a shot at the least as soon as every week. You can also find that you just enjoy it more than sweating solo. Happiness and wellness are shared by way of social connectedness and closeness, says Greg Chertok, Director of Sports Psychology on the Physical Medication and Rehabilitation Middle in New Jersey. Geography and proximity are predictors of how contagious emotions can also be, and this will likely translate into an athletic environment too. Sign up for Bikram, CrossFit, spin, or Zumba, and also you might in finding yourself, gasp, smiling on the health club thanks to your classmates. Cleanstring Alt Leisure in opposition to weight obtained slumbering 7 to 9 hours a night for 5 days straight could stave off luggage below your eyes as well as saddlebags to your thighs. When ladies get sufficient sleep, they don't absorb extra, useless energy to remain wakeful, in step with a study released in the court cases of the National Academy of Sciences. Read, Ample Magnificence Leisure can aid you go up decide on me up snacks and head off introduce pounds. Cleanstring Alt It's about time no matter how busy you're, consume lunch before 3 p.m. A Spanish Be Trained suggests. Researchers positioned a bunch of ladies on a weight loss program for 20 weeks, half ate lunch earlier than 3 and half consumed their noon meal after 3. Even though each agency's day-to-day caloric intake, time spent exercising and sound asleep, and urge for food hormone phases were the identical, folks who lunched late misplaced about 25% less weight than prior eaters. Being European, lunch was the largest meal of the day for these females, constituting 40% of their energy for the day, so consider slimming down dinner in addition to watching the clock. Cleanstring Alt Don't get too app. Why downloading that new weight loss app is probably not as useful as you believe. A Be Trained released in American Journal of Preventive Treatment rated the top 30 weight loss apps using standards set by the Facilities for Sickness Control and Prevention's Diabetes Prevention Plan, which consists of 20 habits established techniques, together with strength of mind control, problem solving, stress discount, motivation, and relapse prevention. 28 of the applications furnish 25% or fewer of these predominant tummy trimming systems. If you're into tech, use your apps to log food and share your progress on social networks, but don't rely on both too closely to make lasting lifestyle alterations. Cleanstring Alt Opt for protein when you're on the bar or a get-together and ravenous, your options aren't continually the great. But if it's bruschetta, chips and salsa, or wings, go for the bird, though nuts can be even better. Protein fills you up turbo than carbs do, making it less seemingly that you'll overeat, says Christopher Ocker, Ph.D., a study companion at New York Weight Problems Vitamin Research Center at St. Luke's Roosevelt Medical Institution Core. And considering it'll hold you satiated longer, you gain be as tempted when your buddy orders a brownie sundae or brings out a tray of blondies. Cleanstring Alt Win the uphill battle. The trick to biking uphill is to seem ahead and expect. Attempt to plan for what's coming, says Georgia Gould, a lunar pro athlete and 2012 Olympic bronze medalist in ladies' mountain biking. Start shifting down one apparatus at a time for a soft, vigor-saving transition. Ideally your cadence will have to stay the equal as you transition from harder to simpler gears. Cleanstring Alt let existence happen. It can be better to waft than to move towards it. Things come up in existence that we cannot manage, which makes our workout each a physical and intellectual project, says Shane Staley, a Big Apple Sports membership private trainer. Hearken to your body and be aware of each and every second's situations at the same time you push ahead towards your intention. Cleanstring Alt Scale back. Weighing yourself too mainly can rationale you to obsess over every pound. Penner recommends stepping on the dimensions or striking on a pair of well-becoming, i.e. now not a measurement too small, pants as soon as a week. Each can be utilized as an early warning procedure for preventing weight gain, and the pants could also be a better solution to gauge if these workouts are serving to you tone up and slim down. Tweet this tip. Cleanstring Alt Start from the ground up. Having the proper sneakers is predominant for any workout, and for winter runs, that means sneaks with EVA, ethylene vinyl acetate, says Polly DeMille, an exercise physiologist who oversees New York Street Runners Learning Sequence for first-time New York City marathon runners. Polyurethane tends to get fairly stiff and cold within the wintry weather, which could broaden your risk of damage. An extra foremost feature is a water-resistant and windproof higher appear for sneakers made with Gore-Tex, or wrap your mesh uppers in duct tape to maintain FT dry and heat. Cleanstring Alt Supply Fats a threat. Trimming some fats may get rid of some guilt, but be warned, purchasing foods labeled low fats, non-fat, or fat-free could inspire you to eat up to 50% extra calories, according to 3 reports with the aid of Cornell University's Food and Manufacture Lab. Fats is now not the challenge when it comes your way, due to the fact a lot of these foods most effective have about 15% fewer energy than their commonplace counterparts. Go for the entire fat version and eat less. You on the whole will naturally when you consider that they style higher.